Hi, I'm Mike Messier. Welcome to Messier Mantra. On this episode, we have a very special return guest. It's my good friend, Raeshelle Cooke.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Raeshelle. And you are a filmmaker, and we had you on another episode, a previous episode. We showed one of your works, and we talked about just a lot of things. And we're going to talk even more. And we were talking off camera, and you said you wanted to mention our mutual friend, Skip Shea. Tell me about Skip and your relationship.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention what an inspiration he's been for me. He gave me the opportunity to work on one of his feature films, doing sound, and he's also, of course, I got to be a part of the great festival that he runs, Shauna Shea Film Festival. Of course, it's a great festival, very touching for me. And he's just an inspiration. Like, I watch him, how he does things, and what I've learned from him is you can go through things and it's okay to show it. It's okay for me to share my story of how things were in my childhood.
Yeah.
It's okay to share the fact that my life wasn't that great, or that I don't have a father figure, or that my father disappointed me. It's okay. As a woman, you can be judged for not having a father figure and for that bothering you, which kind of makes me mad, but I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
But what Skip does is he shows that it is okay to use film as an outlet and to be yourself. And now I'm just embracing it. My actress, Dominique LaFleur.
Yes.
She worked with me in my latest short film sometime around January, and she's going to work with me again in my next short film for Campus Movie Fest. It's called Last Words.
Okay.
And I don't want to talk about the film because that doesn't deserve any more of my energy, but basically it's my last words to a particular situation. And so I shared the details with her, and I shared with her the song. I did the narrations for the song and the story, and she laughed. She texted me back, she was like, Raeshelle, this is absolutely hilarious. I love how sadistic your mind is. So it's like, wow, I'm starting to just be myself,
Yeah. Yes.
Skip is himself, and he's proud of that, and he's a great filmmaker, and he believes in me, and he supports me, and I just wanted to thank him for supporting me and, being an inspiration to my own filmmaking.
Yeah, Skip is a great guy. He's done some really powerful work, and there's several that he's done that are very powerful. He and I co-directed a piece together called The Actor, and Skip is just an amazing guy, and I met him about 10 years ago myself. And we hope to have, for those that don't know our friend, we'll have him on the Messier Mantra in the future. So thanks for sending those nice words. And it's good because a lot of filmmakers, it's all about the me, and then you taking the time to acknowledge and appreciate another filmmaker is really awesome for you to do that. So that's great.
And I'm really awkward when I talk about really touching things, so I'm sorry if I was awkward and stuff, but I'm speechless. It's just a big inspiration to me. So
that's great, and I'm sure that his family and friends and fan base will appreciate the nice things you're saying. That's great. So what's next for you in your career, your moves?
Well, so like I said, I just finished sometime around January.
Yeah.
That is also a love story. I write a lot of love stories, and I just want to touch upon it again. I do this, and I self-reflect a lot, and I'm realizing I write a lot of these sadistic love stories because I am dealing with the fact that, our father, because I have siblings, basically abandoned us and didn't treat us right. Yeah. And I'm now realizing this at 25 because I've been doing this since I was 23. And I'm now realizing, even through watching, Skip stuff, oh, this is why I'm doing it, because I'm bothered by what my father did. And I'm seeking the things that I lacked from him. And of course, getting into bad situations and then making films.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Great art comes from great pain, and whether it's you and your situation, me and my situations, Skip, anybody who, and a lot of us, let's be honest, have been victimized through no fault of our own, born into a situation, mistreated by individuals who had some type of authority over us, whether they earned it or not. They're in a position of power over ourselves as children. There's nothing we can do about it except survive. And then when we get to a point, and what I think is great about you is, and you revealed your age. I was trying not to do that, but you don't know. It doesn't matter. But I say for actors, especially, I always think you're going to be a great actress too, an actor, because I always tell actors don't reveal your age, because
I did that.
That's okay. It'll be all right. But with actors, highly sensitive people, writers, highly sensitive people, filmmakers, intuitive, sensitive people. But we've all come through situations, not everyone, but a lot of people have come through situations that weren't great, survived, and then in reflection, the key word you use, reflection.
Exactly.
How do I make this better for someone else?
Exactly. Through
the art, through Monet's Room, through even some of your, you've had a few pieces that I find comedic, if I can say the name. I don't know if you want me to say the name.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the Bill Weiner piece. What was it called? What's with Bill Weiner?
What's the problem?
What's the problem with Bill Weiner's? If I could just, you tell me what it's about, because I like that one a lot.
Gosh, it's been so long. The story is about a man, is through the point of view of a man that finds a great woman and leaves her. So and then he wonders what's wrong. Why can't I find love? So the story begins with him wondering, why can't I find love? Oh, woe is me. Women don't appreciate me. And then he finds a woman that treats him right. He mistreats her, leaves her for another woman who, after leaves him, sends her an email. And then when things don't go his way, of course, it's back to I'm a great guy. I can't find love. I really want love. So that's what the story is.
I find humor in the piece because our mutual friend, Mark Keller, played Bill Weiner, did a great job. And the actress, Dalia Watt, is it her name?
Mowat.
Dalia Mowat, great actress. She's in 2 of your films, actually. Yeah, and so, I don't know if it matters or not. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But there is a subtext to the general love story, the story that you just told me, that it is an older, white guy and a younger, very attractive African American female. So, that being said, although the story is universal, in those exact casting choices, you have a subtext that some viewers is going to mean something to somebody, because in America, the society that we're in, or internationally, people have hang-ups about ethnicity or, interracial relationships. So, and the way I remember a Bill Weiner film, those topics aren't really discussed, but it's a subtext.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I like that Bill Weiner piece a lot. It's a good piece.
Yeah, and you talked about, we survive these things.
Right.
And I really related to what you said, because it's like, I will survive. I do these short films, but I'm not pitying myself. There's comedic relief in them. I find them hilarious, to be honest.
Yeah.
When I'm editing these films, I'm laughing my butt off. When Last Words, which is about a particular situation that doesn't matter to me anymore.
Okay.
And while I was doing my voiceovers and editing, I was laughing my butt off. And Dominique, the actress, she was laughing, and she's like, you turn these, these unfortunate circumstances, and you make them funny, and you make them great art. And I do want people to relate, and I do want the message to reach the people that have gone through these things, but at the same time, I'm not pitying myself. I'm a very strong woman. I know what I got. And, despite the fact that these are about love stories and unrecorded love, I'm 25. I have a whole life ahead of me. I know I'm going to find the right man. So you don't need to pity me. This is
Maybe
all
he's in
comedy.
Seacock watching the show. You'll start getting all these crazy emails. I saw you on the show. I saw you on the Messier monitor.
Oh my God.
No, we'll be all right.
I will survive.
I know you will.
And those are my last words.
Okay. Oh, is that the last words on the short?
That's what the short's called, last words, and it definitely is my last words.
Are the last words "I will survive" or is that a secret?
The last words, you'll have to see the actual
All
film
right.
to know what those last words
We'll have to
are.
have you back on our show.
Yeah.
What do you want to tell people who are watching Messier Mantra and they say, okay, Raeshelle Cooke, we saw the previous episode, we saw On Her Way, we kind of looked up her YouTube channel or Vimeo channel, and saying that, and they're inspired, and what do you say, whether they want to be a filmmaker or anything? It could be a firefighter, but what someone who's in a position, maybe watching this show, in the privacy of their own home, a young person, doesn't really know what to do next, and do you have any advice or thoughts for them watching the show?
Well, I would say if they want to really make a film, then there are obviously steps to doing this. I mean, if you're not familiar with a camera, I would say go get a camera, go outside and practice, shoot something. If you have an idea, write it out.
Yeah.
And just make the film. Don't think about it so much, because when you're thinking, you're giving yourself time to say, oh, I don't think I'm going to do that. Never mind. But just get a camera, go out there and shoot your film. And don't wait on other people. Don't depend on others. Collaboration is great. But what I'm finding is there's kind of an issue with collaboration around here.
Yeah, there is.
And I'm not feeling it. So I just do it,
Yeah.
I'm not going to wait on people. I'm not going to ask you to believe in me or support me. I believe in me. I support me. I just make this film.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. So just make it, and the rest should fall into place. If it's something that you're meant to do, then it'll happen for you.
And those same life lessons can apply to anything.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can apply that to the person who wants to be a poet or a firefighter, like I said, or a veterinarian, and what's interesting specifically about film or the creative arts is a lot of it, as opposed to a veterinarian who has to go to a veterinarian school or a firefighter who has to go, to firefighting academy, an artist does make their own way in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And what I've liked about you is that a couple of years ago, I don't think you were editing, and then the next thing you know, you're editing because you just taught yourself how to edit.
Yeah.
More or less. And that's something, I haven't done because I just to reflect on myself, I get very easily intimidated by technical aspects. Like I'll hop on the phone with anybody and try to get some actors going, but for sit me in front of a computer and it's like, what's the, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But you're not like that in the sense that you hop right into those technical aspects as well, which is great.
Yeah, and I've actually been told that I'm a technical person. Like I co-produce a public access TV show, Hero and You.
Yes.
And the show host and producer, he always tells me, you're very technical. And I guess I never really thought about it, but then I did, and I was like, oh, I guess he's right. I am good at technical hands-on things, and I need to, when I'm learning these things, I need to do it. I can't listen to a lecture, I need to do it, so that's what I do.
Right.
I wanted this film, 1A's Room, to be edited. It wasn't being edited, so I went on there and I edited the film. I learned several editing systems I'm editing now. I learned how to do sound on films, so I'm doing sound. I did my sound on my first feature not too long ago.
Yes.
I shoot some of my own short films. I'm shooting Last Words. Gonna add my own personal touch to that. I can't wait.
Nice.
I just go straight to it and I do it because I'm telling you, when I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. If I ask you once, I'm not asking you twice.
That's good. Well, I know, and an interesting thing, we had a previous guest on Messier Mantra, Rosemary Pacheco, and we kind of talked a little bit about what you mentioned, the collaboration, and we won't bemoan anything, but just what I think the positive side of the negative being that collaboration sometimes is detrimental if you're waiting on people, if you're playing the phone tag game, if you're playing the text game, people, and you and I experienced this, you schedule an actor or somebody else to show up, be there,
Yeah.
and they don't show up, and they're not there. And so some of these things, they're not unique to you and I. This has been going on for a long time, you know. Someone might get a better offer, or they might get a paid gig, or whatever comes up, and so the filmmaker is left there like, you know. So the flip side of collaboration is sometimes it's best to just do it yourself.
You know, I've definitely experienced some things, but the great thing is I do know great people that do believe in me, do support my work, watch my work, like it. Just off the top of my head, Aaron Wilson, he's been a huge inspiration to me, a huge support. I'm working on a lot of his stuff now. We're going to be working on his music video. He wants me back. I worked on his last music video, Save My Life. It got accepted into a festival. He wants me back on his second music video, so I'm going to be working on that over this summer. We're going to be working on, this is kind of on the hush-hush, but I'm so excited for this. It's a short sports biopic.
Oh, wow.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I love biopics, and I love, you know me, I love
Yeah,
sports.
yeah, you do.
So,
Keep going. Yeah.
yeah, so like I'm working with him a lot. Sean McCall is another. He's a composer I work with. I've met Steve Cafaro this year. He's absolutely great. I know that I'll definitely have him on more of my projects. Just a bunch of great people. Like, when you don't support me, that's fine, you know. I
Right.
keep moving, and I won't ask you again. When you do support me, we're going to be friends for the rest of our lives, and I'll support you. Like, I'm working on several of his projects, and I'm going to make them the best he's ever seen.
I like what you said about sports, because you and I do talk about sports, and you're a fan of 90s NBA, I believe.
Oh my gosh, yes. I just watched the documentary, The Dream Team, the other night.
That's a good one.
It was so great. I love that.
Those were, you'll never have a class of guys like that, like, you know, all the way from Jordan, Bird, Magic,
Never.
etc. You know?
We'll never have another Olympic basketball team like that.
Right.
It was a great story. You should definitely look that up and see that.
I've seen it.
You did?
On ESPN.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 30 for 30, yeah. And then they had kind of, one of the guys, the youngest guy on that team was Christian Laettner, who played for Duke
Yep.
college ball, and they made a special on him. I hate Christian Laettner. So.
Really?
Yeah, 20 years later, people still hate this guy who played for Duke basketball. And
Wow.
it's an interesting story, just real quick, because the story of Christian Laettner as a controversial guy, whatever, playing basketball for Duke, is that everybody hated him, but nobody really understood him. You know, and he was just trying to play basketball. And he kind of like yourself, he didn't care what people thought unless they were his friends. The general populace, he tuned out, because there's no need to, you know, even go there with the general populace. And he played the role of villain because he wanted to make the shot. He
Yeah.
wanted to win the game, and he won 2 championships for college basketball, NCAA. Not to say you're the villain, you know, but we kind of got on this tangent of basketball.
Yeah.
What other sports do you like?
I love football. I used to watch baseball, but I got bored with that real quick.
Yeah.
Basically, basketball and football I love. What else? I think that's boxing. I like boxing too.
Yeah.
Kickboxing also.
Oh, okay.
So.
You like UFC, mixed martial arts?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay, good. Do you have any fighters in particular that you like?
Well, I used to watch this show that was like really old, and then I stopped. It was like back in the mid 2000s.
The Ultimate Fighter show?
Yeah, that
the
one.
reality
And
show.
I stopped watching it. Who is the black guy that was on there?
Kimbo Slice?
No. Gosh, what's his name?
We look like.
He looks like Shaq.
Must have been
Bald. His name's on the tip of my tongue,
big. Okay.
but I do like him.
Okay.
Jeez.
There's a lot of great fighters, and yeah. So I would like to see, you know, Raeshelle Cooke, as you said, you're going to do this sports short biodoc, but in some regard, you could make a feature film about sports at some point.
I know. I definitely would like to.
Yeah.
I would like to get into documentaries as well. you
Yeah.
know, So
Any subject matters and docs that you're thinking of?
I want to make a documentary on Brockton. I know some really cool people from Brockton. I'm expanding my networks, you know?
Yes.
Trying to find people that I can believe in and support and who can return that back. And I'm expanding my network to Brockton, and there's so many cool people from there, but Brockton gets a bad rap, you know? And I want to do a documentary to show people this is Brockton, you know, like they've been beaten down, but they're strong and they rise up and they're great people and it's a great place, you know. I want to educate people on Brockton. And I do want to do a sports documentary because I love basketball. I'm obsessed with basketball, so.
City of Champions, Brockton, Massachusetts is home of Rocky Marciano, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, the boxers. Brockton Rocks baseball team, minor league team, I think that the comedian actor Bill Murray owns a part of.
Wow.
So Brockton has a rich history of sports, and you can really tie all that stuff together.
Yeah, it's great.
Was it last summer that you and I were at the Brockton screening?
Last summer, yeah.
Yeah, and where was that? At a local
Where
bar?
was it? It was D'Angelo's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the sandwich place, but a different, privately owned.
A restaurant. That's
Yeah.
the film festival, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's D'Angelo's.
Yeah.
Or Angelo's.
Angelo's,
One of
yeah,
those.
D'Angelo's. Yeah, D'Angelo's is a sandwich place, but D'Angelo's they had basically for the audience, they had a screening. Maybe they'll do it again, so if people in
Yeah, they
Seekonk want
will.
to travel to Brockton and check it out. But they had a screening of about 15 films.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was like one of the best festivals I've ever gone to. I think Manhattan Short Film Festival is the best festival ever, but that one is definitely up there.
Yeah.
It's great. I like going to really good festivals.
It was a good night. And are you also involved in another festival in Massachusetts? Are you part of the Boston Indie Mafia?
Boston Indie. I did show a short there the first year that they did it.
Yeah.
And then what is it? The music video I directed for Aaron Wilson, that co-directed, that got accepted into that festival as well. So
It's called the Boston Indie Mafia Film Night.
yeah.
Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a lot of fun. So just people who are watching the show, how do we get in on the scene that Raeshelle and Mike are, part of? And there's a lot of things that people can do to explore and support local filmmakers, local artists in Seekonk, Brockton, throughout Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. So let's talk more about, you wake up in the morning, and you're still in college, right?
Yeah, last year.
Last year of college, and if it's not a day where you're besieged with schoolwork, if it's a day where you're filming or writing, what's your mindset going into the creative process?
When I'm filming and writing?
Yeah. Say it's a filming day and you have actors to take care of and your crew to kind of manage. Is there a mindset that you put yourself in, that you find yourself in?
I think I just try to stay calm.
Okay.
That's like the main thing, because these are very small crews, and so like I'm running a lot of things. So I just try to stay calm and stay focused and do one task at a time. Like, oh, I need to get lunch in the morning. Okay, just focus on that right now. Okay, got the lunch, need to pick this person up. Okay, just focus on that. Okay, so we're at this shoot. The actors have rehearsed with me. We're just gonna get this set up and go into it. I'm already I've already immersed myself into my script, so I know it like the back of my hand. So I don't really worry too much about that. It's just making sure everything else is there, the food, the actors, and just running it in general. But as far as the creative process, I already had done that 3 months beforehand.
You're in the right state of mind when you get on set. Okay,
yes,
good.
Totally.
Good. What we talked about in this episode and the previous episode, all the places your imagination has gone based on real experiences. Is there a dream, not a dream project, but a lifetime project, as in my life's work? Because we talk about many different short films, feature film scripts. Is there something that in the 3 or 4 minutes we have left that you'd want to get out there maybe? Because we talk about manifesting things. And so sometimes you can even just mention casually on the Messier mantra, like, hey, 5 or 10 years from now, I really want this film to have been accomplished, or for me to start moving towards this particular project. Is there anything like that you'd like to mention, Raeshelle?
Well, Okay, so there is the Zodiacos.
Yeah.
That is an animated series. I don't know if people can tell, but I'm totally a nerd. I'm not only into 1970s music, totally into that. And chilling with those people, even the baby boomers, totally into chilling, you know. Well, not only am I into that stuff, but I love cartoons. I love comic books, anime. I created and wrote this anime series with my brother who bailed on me.
Zodiacos, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to get it, you know, I want to get it produced. I want to do at least a pilot episode. I think it's a great series. And I want it to be the next Avatar: The Last Airbender, the next Yu-Gi-Oh! I want cards made. I want action figures made, toys. I want it to be on the, you know, the kids shows, you know, in the morning or the weekends. You know, I love that show. It's something that kept me strong during my, when I was a child. Me and my brother, we used that to, you know, keep our sanity. You know, it made us very happy.
Yes.
You know, from the late 90s to the mid 2000s, we had that show, and I really want to share it with the world and just really take that project on.
It's about teenagers who are kind of like teenagers. You tell me, but it's like teenagers, kind of like superheroes.
Well, if anyone's ever seen the show Pokemon
Right.
and Digimon, it's heavily influenced by Digimon, where it's about these group of kids who were chosen to defend the world, and there's another world in the universe. I haven't gotten to the script in such a long time, so bear with me. Filled with astrology monsters. So it's based on astrology.
Right.
And constellation monsters, and they're partnered up with the friendly monsters on that world, but there's of course the evil monster that wants to take over their world and the kids' world and the whole universe. So basically the kids need to partner up with the monsters from the other world and stop the evil monsters. I don't know if I'm...
No, it's great, and we got about a minute left, so I just want I'm glad I asked that question because it's ironic. That's the project that I first was introduced to your writing, and in the 2 or 3 years since, you've done a lot of stuff. You know, 5 short films, at least 2 awards, several festivals, but in your soul and spirit, Zodiacos is...
Oh, yeah.
You won't be...
That's my fire.
That's your fire, the Zodiacos. That's great. Anything you want to say? We got about 30 seconds left, so anything you want to say to the audience of...
Gosh. I don't know. I mean, just do what your heart, you know, tells you. If you want to make films, do that. If people want you to make films but you don't want to make films, you just want to do it on the side and do something else, like hiking or, you know, falling in love in Paris or going to a Comic-Con and doing that for the rest of your life. Do that too. Like, don't live by rules, because I'm not. You know, a lot of people expect me to be this big person. It's like, well, I don't know yet. I'm feeling this out. I want to see what I want to do and who I want to surround myself with. So just do what makes you happy for the moment and don't worry so much about the future and all this other materialistic stuff.
Raeshelle Cooke, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike, for having me on.
Great to have you. Thanks for watching a great episode of Messier Mantra. I want to thank you, our audience, and our special guest, Raeshelle Cooke, filmmaker, who came and shared her mantra with us. We'll see you next time on Messier Mantra.